Hey, look. Watch Scoot, right? Hold on. Watch Scoot. He been struggling, man. He been struggling, right? And watch his speed specifically. Because this is going to be a direct correlation as to the result of that shot. Just rushed. Right? So instead of Scoot necessarily trying to always be at 100%, 90%, learning how to turn that off and then just get into a flow that's under control. And you're not just sitting here airballing this when you got no contest. You'll gain a maturity the more and more you play, right? And this is the maturity Scoot's going to have to gain, especially in transition, right? Understanding I have Zubac, who's not in legal guarding position, right? And if I make contact with him at this point, if I drive and seek contact and not seek space, I'll be able to get a foul instead of trying to beat him up high. Because even though I could get up higher on my vert, he could get from A to B a little quicker than me because he's already 7 foot with maybe a 7'4" wingspan and then the reach as well. I see the same exact thing right here with Scoot like I do with a lot of y'all high school hoopers, right? Right, y'all know y'all not good at something. So when you get in a spot where you got to do what you're not good at, you're going to do something like this. Not read what you have available, because watch Russ. That's a short close with no hand. Short close with no hand in the pockets, that's a shot. And so ultimately, right, this now leads to Scoot traveling. I think Scoot throughout his career has been so heavy on relying on his talent to be able to make up for having to actually read the floor and play basketball, right? Learn basketball. And so now you're getting to the NBA where everybody on this floor is damn near as talented as you, right? And so now you got to now play the basketball game. You're not just playing off talent, you're playing the game. And so he's getting to spots and he just doesn't know how to make the reads on help side while still going through reads in his direct action. Realize what he has to read throughout this. You got quiet to read, you got this to read, you got this roll over here to read, and then you also have this weak side to read. And so his vision and his ability to read only goes as far as this elbow right here. He didn't take into account this corner. And so this may seem ugly at first, but if he's able to actually just learn the game, sit down, watch film, and want to get better for himself, you'll see this change and see a star be budding. Look, remember in preseason, we seen Scoot knocking down some jumpers in the preseason, right? But this speed is a little different when you got somebody who's 6'8", giving their effort to actually go and close out on you, right? And so this is where you got to be able to delineate whether I shoot this or do I pump fake? Like, what's the closeout? What's the read for this closeout? And that's what he has to get himself exposed to. Because being such a ball-dominant player all his life and being so much more talented and more athletic, even if he had a closeout before, he could just rip through and get right by you, get to the lane, use his athleticism. Now it don't just work like that. It's not that easy, right? It ain't that easy no more. So now he's got to learn and expose himself to being able to play off the spot up, which is something he's never done, but now you're going to be doing a lot of. That's why I said Scoot could be a late bloomer. So don't get too upset too early. His decision making is just not up to par with the pro level at this point. Like, this is a very much of a high school turnover right here. Like, and you could really like see it. Like, he sees a corner, he takes 2 dribbles to now only make 1 pass, and not only that, right? He gets here, gets to a stop, gets to his middle, and hooks passes with his left, trying to get that to the corner. These dudes are 6'8" now, sitting in help with 7-foot wingspans plus. These aren't no regular high school dudes, 6-foot white guy sitting in help, just standing here. Like, that's not that no more, right? We talking that real athletes. Watch Scoot though. He's gonna get here, knock down this float though, right? But you can still see that motor's on go. Notice like the speed, how fast he's getting into him, right? How much he's getting forward with it, because you're going to end up playing a smart big who's going to do this every single time. See you get here, and instead of trying to play 2, they're going to be able to recognize you're going to want to take the shot, and your shot's going to be the flow. And so what they're going to do is they're going to stop right here as we can continue to jump forward into this float. Take a charge, just like that, right? Just wait until you play like Al Horford or something, someone who's just a little smarter playing that drop coverage, or even an Anthony Davis at times, who's just going to sit back and just take a charge. Watch Scoot, right? This is why Scoot's just been playing so bad, right? Concepts, realize, I got the screener, right? Get off the screen. You cut the floor. You don't even allow the roller a chance to even be a threat, because you cut so early, he can't even roll to the rim. So now you just end up on the right side, right? And now this The Clippers bench even realizes, oh damn, he's not even playing in his own pace. He's just going way too fast. He don't even know what to do, just based off all the things that he was doing prior to even this play. It's an accumulation, recognizing that he's out of his pace. So what is he gonna do, right? Panic. Bones Highland, he's not even a lockdown defender, gets that stop. He's just playing out of his own pace, one, and the game is just a little too fast for him. So he's just got to be able to sit back, watch some film, and be able to understand the game for itself and recognize that I can't just play off my athleticism no more. Look, this is how you use your athleticism, right? You don't use your athleticism to speed up decision making. Use your athleticism to take advantage of people who you can use your athleticism against. Like a big playing the drop who's late to step over. So now you attack his hip. Because if you get hit here, that's going to be a blocking foul. Get into the free throw line. But if you don't, you'll have an angle to be able to get that finish. That's how you got to be able to leverage your athleticism and use your speed as a guard. Hold on, though. Missed by Paulo. Scoot playing in transition. Numbers. What's your numbers, right? And are your teammates getting into space, right? We got 5 Magic players ahead of us. All 5. And you got 1, 2 still back trailing the play, right? And so now Scoot drives, right? You got one person set in the corner. You got another person set in the other corner. You don't even see the wing no more because that angle is getting blocked. And so now Scoot goes to make that pass with only one outlet. You cannot go and drive and only have one outlet. Nor can you drive and be out of control to the point where you can only throw to one outlet. So what Scoot's just got to do in these situations is to read the floor and say, this is not the one for me to take. Hey, remember that floater I just showed the last game? You remember that? Remember that floater I told y'all? It's going to be something very similar to this in those pick and rolls as well, where they know Scoot is getting down and he cannot turn off his motor, right? He can't go from that 5th gear to the 2nd gear so that he could be able to prevent this, right? They're just going to stand right there where he's going. And Scoot thinks, I let the ball go, I'm good. But it's not necessarily that. It's got to be, I got to make sure my body is good. And I could also let the ball go because there's the charge there as well. And so like I was going back to what I was saying before, his ability to process multiple variables at once, right? To where you're driving, you know this player is going to take a charge. Now I got to be able to get this ball here. Now I got to be able to make sure like I don't get into that charge. He's not necessarily at that point. And that's just going to take a lot of time and a lot of experience. Even in a spot like this, you just got to kind of get aware of the fact that if I don't have this drive, I got to be able to see this early and be able to get myself out of this spot. Right, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm here. All right, let me try this drive. Let me see if I can get this angle. I can't get this angle. Help steps over. Now I slow myself down. I get myself around this baseline, and I try to get back out right as Brogdon begins to lift up, or I just try to circle around here to that left side and maybe try to get to Shaedon Sharpe in the corner. Right, I'm trying to do one of those things so then I can be able to get out of the spot that I'm in and make the best out of it. But ultimately, his gear is still activated. I'm still driving, and through that drive, I get the ball ripped. Turnover. Look at this read by Scoot. Like, look. He just threw it to his foot. And so that's why I feel like this is why Scoot is playing so bad. The speed that's going on right here in his brain is way faster than the game actually is. He's not able to turn off his motor, right? And so now he's trying to do something that will end up being there, but it's just not there because you're going way too fast. You got to allow things to develop, right? You allow that to develop. You allow Ayton to actually slip, get out into some space. Maybe that bounce pass is there. But in this moment, it straight up just is not. Hey, I ain't gonna lie. Should Scoot have went to college, bro? Hold on. He went to the G League. G League, they got some hoopers. But the college game brings a style to which will prevent these plays like this, right? You'll learn how to properly set up an offense, set up to get from A to B, how to deal with physicality on the ball, because there's going to be a plethora of teams and players who are just going to go into this matchup and be like, I'm just going to try to annoy him, right? And also the environment of playing in college, like it entices that. You know what I'm saying? It brings in that energy, you know what I'm saying? From not just from the players, even the fans as well. Like the whole atmosphere. And so you didn't really get that in the G League. You didn't get that level of intensity. You got people who do play pro for a living, but college is a different atmosphere, a different game. And essentially what I think what it does for a player, particularly when it comes down to how it's going through within their brain, it makes it more elastic. Like that exposure to a different style of play is gonna make you a better player. You know what I'm saying? To where you're seeing some shit you ain't never seen before. And so you have to find a way to adjust to that. And in turn, by adjusting to it, you get back to what the bread and butter. It's like, now I got some new tricks. I done seen some new shit I haven't seen before. And it's like, I could think of the game in a little different way. And so even though the games are played differently between college and pros usually, like that difference low-key helps some, but also hurts some. Because it's hard for some players to be able to get back to that style of play after playing the college way. But if you're able to adapt in certain environments, you'll be able to see college and be able to see the pros and be able to make that transition, because all college did for you was teach you how to adapt in a new game, in a new environment. And then you get back to what you usually do with all this new information. So